This door will not close, dude. Something work with me here. My goodness. Nothing's working. Nothing's working. All right. The Cardinals lost another game. If you're watching this after the fact, the Cardinals absolutely embarrassed themselves yet again, competing until the very end of the game and then losing again at the very end of the game. They lose another game at the last second. Both of the last two games have ended the exact same way. Let's look up the box score of today's game. I am pretty much at my wits' end with this garbage franchise and garbage team. Of course, I picked this year as the first year to start talking about the Cardinals on YouTube. And this is how they are repaying me with one of the most painful and heart wrenching seasons for a Cardinals fan that I think I've seen in a long time. At least in previous years, we knew we sucked. We didn't even have to wonder. We knew we already sucked. We didn't have to just think, oh, maybe we're going to win every single week just to end up losing. In fact, today, I actually was like, you know what? We're not winning this game. The moment that the Packers scored that final touchdown, made it a 27-23 game, there was about 2.5 minutes left. And I told myself, yeah, we're not winning this game. There's no way we're winning this game. It wasn't if we were going to win the game. It was more of a matter of how are we going to lose this week? Because every single week it's been the same thing. And I was watching Tom Grossi, the biggest NFL YouTuber, and I think the biggest Packers fan YouTuber on this whole game for the entire second half. I was watching his reactions to the game. He was worried that the game was going to be a loss for the Packers at the end. And I was thinking, no, the Cardinals are not winning this game. They just do not do that. The Cardinals do not win. When the Cardinals have a chance to win a game, they don't do it. They don't win. The Cardinals get opportunities to win every single week. The Cardinals are always handed opportunities to win. They always compete, and then they always find a way to lose at the last second. Today was very similar to last week. And if you weren't here last week, I wasn't here last week. What am I talking about? This is live, so it's going to be unedited, and all of my flubs are going to be in the video instead of edited out. Last week, I was gone in Portland, Oregon. I was in Washington State / Portland, Oregon on a vacation with my wife to a wedding. So I was not able to do any videos. But this week I am here. I am back. So I am here to complain more about the Cardinals and get back to my generally pretty normal streaming schedule. Not streaming schedule, just upload schedule. This is my first year here. I don't have enough followers or subscribers yet to be live streaming regularly. Even though, man, this would be quite the year to do it. It'd be very entertaining to do so this year. The Cardinals have lost every single game by less than one possession. It has been one possession losses every single game. They have lost now 5 games by a total of 13 points. I think it was 9 before this game, and now it is 13 points this time. The Green Bay Packers beat them today 27-23, just a 4-point loss. Let's take a look at the Cardinals games. Let's just take a look and we'll add it up right here. First game against the Saints, we won by 7, but we almost gave that game away. Second game against the Panthers, we won by 5. We almost gave that game away. Then the third game was where things have just started to be an absolute disaster. Playing the Cardinals. Look at me. I can't even think straight. This team is so awful. The 49ers beat us by 1, 16-15. Then the Seahawks the next week beat us by 3 on a final kick. 23-20, the Seahawks. So back-to-back division losses. So we thought, hey, we'll bounce back against the Titans. Nope. The most historic Looney Tunes cartoon-like loss that week, 22-21 loss. Suddenly Kyler hurts his foot. Oh no, how did you hurt your foot? Kyler is the only quarterback in the NFL who gets hurt somehow and stays out for such lengthy periods of time where it's not clear to really anybody ever how he gets injured, because he always gets injured in the weirdest ways, except for when he tore the ACL. That one's a very obvious injury. Like the time that Aaron Donald rolled over his ankle gently, it wasn't even that big of an injury, and all of a sudden he missed like 8 weeks or something. That was crazy. And now his foot has been bothering him, and he's been out for 2 weeks. And now I'm not saying we would have won. last week or this week with Kyler. I think we would have lost both weeks with Kyler. But here we are losing anyway. I just think that it's kind of annoying to be paying Kyler all this money and for him to be rewarding us with not playing at all, not even suiting up, literally just standing on the sidelines with that dumb look on his face, just looking like, oh, here I am. I'm here collecting 200 million and then I'm out. See you guys later. Literally just watching his team struggle on the struggle bus because his little pinky toe is hurting. So sorry for your little pinky toe, Kyler. But yeah, let's talk about this game. Final drive again. The Cardinals can win the game again with a final touchdown at the very end of the game. And this week, just like last week, they falter at the last second, right in the 20 to 30 yard line area, getting close to the end zone, and then they sputter away to nothing. And that is exactly what they did against the Colts last week. A fourth down throw to the end zone that was incomplete to McBride last week to lose the game. And now you have a fourth down throw to the end zone that's bobbled around a little bit and caught by Zay Jones, probably about 3 or 4 yards behind the back of the end zone. So it would have been a miraculous catch if the whole play happened 5 to 6 yards further in front of where it happened. But yeah, it wasn't a matter of will the Cardinals win this game, even though Tom Grassi was literally saying when I messaged him, I gave him a $2 super chat and I said, as a Cardinals fan, this game is over. We're cooked. And he said back, it's not over till it's over. The game's not over yet. And I did not care. I literally said, no, this game's over. This is completely over before we even got that ball back. And here we are. We're looking at the 27-23 total. I'm not sharing my screen, so you're just seeing me right now, which is totally okay. But I'm going to continue to talk about the stats. I'm going to dive into the stats. Jordan Love, my fantasy quarterback, with a mediocre game of 179 yards passing and 1 touchdown. Josh Jacobs, I have him in 2 fantasy leagues, got me 2 touchdowns and 55 yards. So that is a big thank you. And if the Cardinals aren't going to stop you, take what you can get. Why not? Honestly, Matthew Golden, 37 yards through the air, average 9.2 yards per catch with 4 receptions. Romeo Dobbs just kept going off, 6 receptions for 72 yards. Tucker Kraft, 5 receptions for 58 yards. All of them averaging pretty much 10 or more yards per catch. Kraft had a touchdown of his own as well. There wasn't a straight up blown coverage for a touchdown in this game. I know the Cardinals just love doing the blown coverages every single game. They didn't do that this week. And the one thing I have noticed with Brissett being in instead of, let's see, we got a comment maybe. Oh, we do have a like. Welcome in. The one thing I have noticed this week, other than last week with the Arizona Cardinals, not last week, the last 2 weeks with the Arizona Cardinals, is that they've competed the whole game. And the defense, until it needed it most, played well the whole game. But then they allowed a touchdown at the last second. The Cardinals did fight till the end. And that is something very different during this last 2 weeks versus the rest of the season, where the Cardinals just were non existent in every second half of the rest of the games with Kyler Murray. So I still like Jacoby Brissett more. I want Brissett to be the starting quarterback for this Cardinals team. I do not want Kyler Murray playing anymore. I want to get rid of Kyler Murray. I'm completely done with this guy. Let's struggle and get a high draft pick at this point and have Brissett be the starter. I'm just so tired of his work ethic. I'm tired of the way he gives up on the play. I'm tired of the way he gives up on this team every single year. Yeah, let's see. There are flashes of progress, but I don't know, man. Right there with you, dude. I'm just happy they competed the last 2 weeks with Jacoby Brissett, but I did throw my television remote into the refrigerator after the game was over. So not my proudest moment, but let's hop into the Cardinals stats. Jacoby Brissett, 25 for 36, 279 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. That is crazy, dude. That is so crazy. We can literally back out here and hop into the games that Kyler Murray went. Let's just go in order of his passing yards per game. He had 163 in the first game against the Saints. Let's hop into the second game and take a look at the Cardinals. I'm just going to look at all their games. I want to see how they did because I don't think Kyler Murray has passed for nearly as much as Jacoby has passed for the last 2 weeks. Here we go. Second game against the Panthers. Murray did throw for 220 yards. Still, that's pretty good. A little bit better. And we won the first 2 games, but it was 2 of the worst teams. I mean, the Panthers have decided to be good all of a sudden. Let me see. Where's this game hiding? Where is it hiding at? Okay, we got not sure what's going on over here. Trying to find the third game stats. There's the 49ers. Kyler Murray in the third game against the 49ers, 159 yards through the air. That's a typical stat line for Kyler Murray is to have about 150 passing yards, maybe a turnover. It's just not good enough. Not good enough, man. And every single game, again, I will point out, we have lost 5 games by a combined total of 13 points. That is 2 touchdowns, people. 2 touchdowns. And we have lost every single game by less than 1 possession. It's incredible to me. Let's just see what Kyler did in the last game with the Titans. 220 yards again. So he cannot get past 220 yards. He can't do it. Just not possible for Kyler Murray. In this game, yeah, Jacoby, just like last week, he went over 300 yards, 279 yards and 2 touchdowns. Knight on the ground was the leading rusher, 20. His number is 20. See, the Cardinals are scrambling my brain. I'm scrambled eggs right now with these Cardinals right now. Parson MVP, bro. Yeah, he did really good today. He stopped us so many times. Jonah Williams sucks. Yeah, I feel you guys. Oh man, I'm so angry right now. I can't even describe you. I broke my TV remote. I'm gonna have to order a couple more. Hopefully, it still works for Sunday Night Football. But yeah, Knight had 57 yards on the ground on 14 carries. Jacoby Brissett was the second leading rusher with 26 yards on the ground on 6 carries. And you know who needs Kyler Murray when Jacoby Brissett can scramble just fine on his own, even though he's a lot slower. He's been showing that he can do what Kyler can do. He can just do it, a little bit slower than what Kyler can do. But he can do everything that Kyler can't do. He's a pocket passer. He steps up in the pocket. He throws the ball downfield. He's a better quarterback, and it's so much better seeing a tall quarterback. And also, can I point something out? Can I just say something? The right side of the offensive line was not helping out. I forgot who his name was because I can't remember right now in my anger. But he was getting beat by Parsons all game, and even the broadcaster at one point was like, "Why can't we get any help over here to help out? This guy's getting beat by Parsons, and he's getting beat on the right side." And Jacoby Brissett's just getting bullied all game long. It's very frustrating. I have Mike's Hard over here because it tastes good, and I am not about to drink Coors Light right now because the Broncos, unlike us, made a massive comeback. Let me see if they won the game today. The Broncos were losing to the Giants by a ton, and I'm out here in Denver, and they ended up winning by 1 point. What a game for them. See, unlike the Cardinals, the Broncos can close games and win. How about that? Thank you so much for the 2 likes. I didn't expect anybody to join this live stream, and I'm very happy to have anybody hanging out with me here. Um, yeah, so you guys let me know who's watching here. Williams, damn it, right guard, tackle. Whatever you said, I agree with. All of that stuff. I agree with all of it. I'm going to be pretty much talking for the next 20 minutes until Sunday Night Football starts about and going through it. First of all, there were a few flags that I thought were just bullcrap. The biggest one happened on number 55 of the defense, and it was a big, I think it was a face mask or was a, oh no, it was roughing the passer or something like that, and it ended up giving a big advantage to the Packers on a big drive where they ended up going down and getting a touchdown late in the game. Also, let's point out at the end of the first half, this could have changed the game entirely when the Cardinals had a 13-3 lead, and all of a sudden they allowed, with just 7 seconds left in the first half, Jordan Love to pass a ball down to Dobbs or something like that. Or it looks like Doobs. His name looks like Doobs, but I think it's Dobbs. They get a big pass completion, and then the kicker makes a gigantic kick. What is that new guy's name? I know he was going to be a substitute teacher for the Packers. Havrasik. Lucas Havrasik, the kicker for the Packers, made a 61-yard field goal, and he contributed 9 points to the team. He was 2 for 2 on his 2 field goal attempts, and now he holds the record. He went from being a substitute teacher to now holding the record just a few weeks later for the Green Bay Packers for the longest kick in franchise history. I don't even know how that's possible, dude. Let's look at, that's such a Cardinals thing to do. You take those 3 points back. and we have a 13-3 lead at halftime, this could be a completely different game. And all the things that happen in the second half could be completely changed. And we end up winning by one possession instead of losing a fifth game by one possession. 13 points out of the 5 games. Can't even explain it. Did we get any sacks today? I was not noticing really anything. Oh, we did get one. Zaven Collins got a sack today. Good job, Zaven Collins. He hasn't been doing too much since we drafted him. So good to see him getting involved. This team is remarkable because they had a players only meeting this week and they were talking about it during the game where the players on the defense were all getting together. Why do we keep collapsing in the fourth quarter? Why do things keep falling apart in the fourth quarter? Let's try to lock that up and let's try to get a stop and actually make that not happen this week. And surprise, surprise, it ended up happening again this week. The Arizona Cardinals blew it on the final drive. Not only the final drive, the defense allowed the touchdown after they've been playing, pretty well all game. But then the Cardinals offense couldn't get it done either. I feel my pain. It's seeping through. Actually, it's all over me. It's not seeping through. It's just shooting through the camera full speed. It would have been good to use both our quarterbacks' touchdowns. Let's see. Then use them depending on who we play and who's on the field. Use both our quarterbacks depending on who we play, I think is what you're saying. So if Kyler Murray is the better one at that certain day, then use him. I see what you're saying. I totally get it. Yeah, that would have been good. I think that the play calling also is garbage at times. Drew Petzing is a really bad play caller when it matters. I'm glad Ryland made all 3 of his kicks today. He was absolutely clutch when we needed him. The box score, Green Bay Packers were losing 13-3 at the half. Both teams scored 7 points in the third quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, the Packers scored 14 and we only scored 3. So we really blew it at the end of the game. My Cardinals fans reacting to the Packers video that I'm going to make pretty soon is going to be very, very livid, very, very interesting. And my Cardinals recap is also going to be very interesting as well. The Cardinals are hurting my liver this year. That's all I got to say. My liver hurts because the Cardinals. Cheers to everybody at home because this has been such a frustrating year to start talking about the Cardinals. Such a frustrating year. I know I'm smiling, but I'm not wearing my Cardinals jersey right now. I got this little helmet here, and that is the only part of the Cardinals that I want to show. I might even cover it for the rest of this show. This is completely unacceptable. And we're playing. Let's see who the Cardinals play next week. I just want to take a look because, oh man, they blew it to the Packers team that is good. I think the Packers are still my NFC team to win the whole NFC this year and go to the Super Bowl, even though they kind of blew it on a couple games. They play the Cowboys next week. We play the Cowboys not next week. We have a bye week. So we get to enjoy the pain of this stupid loss for 2 weeks before we play the Cowboys and inevitably do it again. I am not one of those fans who's going to sugarcoat and sit here and say, "Oh, they tried really hard and, good job guys and we're maybe 2-5, but we could be 7-0." Yeah, well, we're not 7-0. We're 2-5 right now. And we suck. We suck major balls. The Cowboys will lose to them. Let's look at the rest of the schedule and predict what we're going to see. The Seahawks are after that on November 9th. The Seahawks beat us by a field goal. Maybe we'll get revenge, but the Seahawks are really coming into their own. I don't think we're going to win that game. 49ers. I think even if half their team's injured, we're going to end up somehow losing to them. They always figure out a way. Jaguars, Cardinals on November 23rd. Maybe we'll win that. It just depends on who shows up and who decides to bring their B team. And we usually bring the B team. Buccaneers are going to whoop our asses right now on the 30th. If something big doesn't change, this is either going to be a situation where Kyler Murray decides he wants to nut up and go out and play for a chance to stay with this team and, make our lives miserable for a few more years, or if he just wants to leave, which I would prefer. Get out of here. I think Jacoby Brissett should play for the rest of the year as a starter. We have the Rams on the 7th of December. The Rams are going to decimate us. That is not going to be good. We are going to be incinerated in that game. They're going to slurp us right up. That sounded kind of gross. I shouldn't have said slurp. Texans, Cardinals, December 14th. Falcons Cardinals, December 21st. And that Falcons just beat the Bills. They're starting to turn it on. Bengals Cardinals, December 28th. And January 4th, we end this miserable season with the Rams one last time because, LA just has to make us feel miserable, don't they? Souls and our spirits. It does suck. El Gallo. I don't know if you want me to use the correct pronunciation with the Gallo or the Gallo. I can say it very white if you want and go Gallo. I've been learning Spanish, though. I actually know a lot of Spanish. Let me take a minute to process my thoughts because this is not edited. I was just going to make a Cardinals recap video and not have it live. But I was so angry that I just marched in here, made the thumbnail real quick, and sat down and decided to just start talking. And so here I am, just pissed off, man. Oh boy. So we couldn't get really anything going on the ground. I'm so tired of seeing the ball fly in the air to Marvin Harrison Jr. and him not be able to haul it in. If you're a top receiver in the NFL, you're going to bring in some catches like the one he didn't bring in that ended up being a pass interference anyway. But there was a pass he had in this game that he should have totally brought in. He did not bring it in at all. Trey McBride still continues to be a beast, though. I can't get mad at him. Like, if we had more players like Trey McBride, we'd win. That players only meeting with the defense about trying to figure out how to win. I feel like we're the Dolphins who keep having players only meetings every single week and then nothing changes on their team. I mean, the Dolphins lost this week really bad again. Embarrassing stuff, guys. Brissett literally has thrown for like 600 yards in 2 weeks, though, and it's good seeing a real quarterback. I haven't seen a real quarterback play for the Cardinals since Carson Palmer left. God rest his soul, even though he's still alive. Sad news in the NFL. Doug Martin passed away, for any of you who did not notice that. So that's a bummer. He's like 36 or something. He used to be absolutely a beast. I think he played for the Buccaneers, if I remember right. But times like this are making me hope and pray that the Diamondbacks will start playing soon enough again so that we can at least see a team that is semi-competent, except for that bullpen. That was an awful bullpen this year. But if you guys have any thoughts, let me know. I'm going to talk for a few more minutes and then I'm going to head out today. Man, I'm just so tired of our team blowing it in the fourth quarter. We just constantly keep losing at the last second. I'm a Texas Tech fan as well because I went to Texas Tech, and Texas Tech did the same damn thing that the Cardinals did. Got a lead at the last second and still found out a way to lose. So I'm having a rough week right now, and my birthday is Wednesday. My birthday is Wednesday, and this freaking team couldn't even get me a win. And now I got to sit on it for 2 weeks. But on the bright side, it gives me more time to talk about the rest of the NFL teams on my channel for the next 2 weeks while I'm not talking about this stupid ass loser franchise of the Cardinals. And I'm one of those fans who's a bit of a realist, a little bit negative sometimes, very sarcastic. And I'm just going to tell the Cardinals like it is. Right now, we're trash. We could very well be. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-0. But we also could be 0-7 right now. That's what happens when you lose one score games, or when you're always in a game that ends in one score deficit for one side or the other. The Cardinals, when they went to the NFC Championship with Carson Palmer, I mean, he hurt himself, but when they went to what would have been the Super Bowl without that injury, and when they went to, so many playoffs those couple of years and they were doing so good. I remember with Carson Palmer, we were winning all the one score games, last second field goals. I think we had, I don't remember the kicker's name, Feely or something. I don't think it was Feely. I don't know. But we were winning all the one score games, and now we're losing all the one score games. So basically, it's just kind of the freaking worst to be constantly feeling like, now I'm at the point where I just expect loss. So I don't really get as upset. I was angry, though. I can't say as upset. I was very angry today. But yeah, these videos I make are going to be really exciting. The Cardinals recap video and the Cardinals fans react to the Packers game is going to be just an absolutely incredibly interesting video for me to make this week. So I'm going to have to go back and look at some of the plays I can add and some of the other stuff that I can add in, because there were other things that I missed that just need to be called out. Because we've been playing pretty much the same against every team. There are years that the Cardinals play horrible against bad teams, and then good against good teams. And it's like, make up your mind, play up, you're playing up to the competition, but you should beat these bad teams and then maybe beat the good teams too. Um, I'm just really tired of this franchise losing so many times. Every single year, like you just think maybe the Cardinals, it's their turn to get some wins, maybe not, and then it just doesn't happen. Hopping through a few more stats. Let's see who had the most tackles. Melton had 4 tackles. Davis Gaither had 4 tackles. Buda Baker had 4 tackles and 4 assists. He was really busy today. He heard me say that he's been the worst player in the secondary this year, didn't he? Because he had a good game today. But this defense really isn't forcing any turnovers for how good they are on paper. They're not forcing any interceptions hardly. And when they do, they fumble it backwards into the end zone for the other team to score. Um, and we're not getting many, forced fumbles. I mean, Jordan Love fumbled one of his own snaps today, and then somehow the pack just recovered it. Yeah, Michael Carter didn't do well at all. 7 carries for 11 yards. His fantasy owners that decided to start him are probably pissed today. But yeah, no, on the other side, we were getting bullied on the offensive line. Quay Walker had 1.5 sacks. Micah Parsons had 3 sacks. Rashawn Gary had 1 sack. And then Ingabar or whatever his name had point 0.5 sacks. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sacks. And let me tell you, Brissett was getting hammered today. There was one time he got hit. It was helmet to helmet, and I thought there should have been a flag on it, and they did not call it. He did kind of lean into it, so I guess he wasn't defenseless, but you still can't go helmet to helmet in that situation. You can't go helmet to helmet there. It's the quarterback. Don't they protect quarterbacks? Apparently not. Um, yeah, just real crappy. Real crappy that we lost. We had a gigantic advantage and we were dominating them, and Jordan Love couldn't figure it out. But my fantasy team maybe won. Who knows? I really don't know. What I do know is that I'm going to go cry in the shower. I'm just joking. That's my thing. I'm going to go ahead and head out. This has been my little mini rant today for the Cardinals game. Look out for my videos hopping up here pretty soon in the next few days about all sorts of stuff throughout the NFL, especially the Cardinals, who I am upset that they decided to have this kind of a season the first year I start to talk about them on YouTube. Man, like the ways that they have lost, the most heartbreaking, heart-wrenching ways to possibly lose. Um, so yeah, I gonna go try to unwrinkle and unpile my jersey from the corner of the room in here where I threw it, and see if my remote works because it wasn't working last I checked. So I threw it like this. I gave it a real zip. I was like, "Screw this team!" Zipped it, and then it hit the fridge, and then it skidded across the floor and kind of shattered into pieces. And the batteries flew out. Had to find those so the dog wouldn't eat it. Um, so yeah, it's a rough time. It's a rough time. Thank you guys for coming in today. I'm gonna go beat myself up and drink more of these adult beverages. We'll see you guys soon in the videos that I make over the next few days where we talk about just how bad the Cardinals were. So please come back for those because I'm going to be able to gather my thoughts and actually make a video with, my camera here and really just hop in and say how angry I am at this team. So awful. But yeah, be on the lookout for my Cardinals fans, how they reacted during the Packers game video tomorrow, because those are usually a little funny. And we'll see you later.